Yay, welcome. Welcome everyone to the Path of the Warrior Sage Dojo Extraordinaire. Here we are. So tonight is a really fun night because we are going to review the whole Reality Transurfing book by Vadim Zeland. And Julia's here. How wonderful.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Now this is really turning to a great party now.
Hi, Julia. So we're excited to have you all. I know we've got a few people who can't make it tonight, but that's okay. They'll be here when they can. Hi, Julia.
Hello, hello.
Great that you're here with us. We're going to review Reality Transurfing, the entire book here, a little here and there. And then, Juan Carlos will lead us through that. And then looking forward to beginning Blue Truth by David Data next time we meet. And that's going to be wonderful. That's a very, very cool book. And I have not gotten through the entire book yet, but soon to be happening. Let's see. So today is June 10th. And let's see, we've got another meeting on June 24th. That's when we'll start reviewing. So here's what we want to do. Before we get to June 24th, get the book if you can, if you're interested in joining us for this next section. And then please read the first 3 chapters of David Data's book, Blue Truth. I'll put all this in the notes, so you'll have it there on the Facebook page. And then we'll be ready to discuss it when we meet on June 24th, okay? So that's the update on the books, and just thrilled to see all of you here. And I think I might just turn it over to our illustrious leader, well, one of our leaders, Juan Carlos Baez.
Thank you.
We're all leaders.
Well, I think this is more than a review, it's a celebration.
Yay.
I was feeling into it. What is this? I think it's a celebration because we've spent many, many weeks, and I'm so glad you are here because you're the ones that have been through most of it. We always got some visitors, spotters, that will come and check and see how we're doing. Yeah. But you were the most consistent, so I'm so happy we've gone through it, and it's been lots of fun. Yeah. So yes, we review the book, and the question is, let's open up for questions first. You know, when you go over RT, when you look at your notes, when you go over all these weeks and all these reviews, what arises? Ooh, dark.
A little dark, but you know what? The light was flashing, Juan Carlos.
Yeah, that's why I turned it off.
That's why, that's a good light there.
So
it was your computer. Thank goodness it's not the computer.
Yeah. Dun.
Put it on the second setting. One more setting. Yeah, that one. Okay. Okay, now we're ready to
rock. So I thought, yes, we could dare reviewing the book. It's possible. But what if we go over some of the highlights? What do you remember? What are still challenges on practicing RT? What are concepts that you still have a hard time, integrating? How could we all support each other to make sure that remember, this is a model of living. That's all there is. It's a model of living. It doesn't say do it this way. No, it's a model of living. We get to choose whatever principles resonate with us the most. So that might be a way also to start. Do you have questions? Or if there are no questions, then we proceed with shares. What really hit us the most? What are the most important things that maybe we hear them, if we all get to share some of those elements, it will reinforce for all of us, what to do. So let's start with challenges or questions.
Challenges?
Yes. Oh, it's just challenges.
Yay. Letting go of importance is something that, like, I'll do it for a while and then I'll totally forget. And then I'm like going, oh my gosh, I'm finding everything so important, and everything is so heavy and serious. And why am I even upset again? I'm glad I have the awareness, and I'm glad that I read the book and it really brought that to the forefront. And it's still something that I find in the moment challenging. I can look back and go, oh, yeah, I could have just let go of that being so important. But in the moment, sometimes there is that, yeah, just not aware enough to put the brakes on either right before or even as I'm in the middle of it. But I always come around to it. I can turn around and look backwards and go, ah, that was a place that I could have let go of importance.
Beautiful. You got it. So you posted a challenge. Who steps up to help? Carrie, Julia, Cindy. What do you do when you get hit by importance, when you recognize that importance is driving us? Let's just play with, yes, Cindy.
Well, myself, I used to beat myself up, but now what I tend to do is when I realize it and it's at that level, like, "Ugh," then I just decide, okay, time to solo process. 2 fingers on the chest, and even though whatever, and then just drop into a process and just deal with it that way and integrate whatever's come up and whatever's needing to be dealt with that way. So that's how I do it. Anybody else?
Julia.
Yeah, it's not like a brilliant solution, but I think like just going to self-compassion, and I feel like self-compassion is like a big part of Deep Pete. So yeah. Like I feel like sometimes self-compassion, like seeing the importance of, or at least connecting with that emotion, is like a way of dropping other kinds of importance.
Cool.
But I don't know if that feels relevant, but
Carrie, I know you always come up with some great, but thank you, Julia.
I'm with Shantae. I'm like, it's sort of in the retrospect, you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about the how. I don't have to try and force this. I can just reduce importance, and not have so much of the inner intention, right? Just let the outer intention take care of everything and don't worry about it. But then you forget again and you go running off wondering, why isn't this happening? When's this going to work? And what do I need to do? And then it's a stop, step back, remind. It's constant learning. I feel like it's getting easier, and I've reintroduced my daily meditation, which is really helping me a huge amount. My days are just so much more open, and there's so much more space in them when I do that. And the way I did it was I tricked myself. You see, I have to do yoga every morning. If I don't do yoga, I get to meditate. So I'm too lazy to do yoga, therefore I meditate. When I told myself I had to meditate every morning, it wasn't happening. So it just kind of tricked me. And it's making a huge difference. So yeah, it's just everything. I was looking around today and thinking all of the different things that have shifted and changed since we started this book. And it's just, yeah. And every time I drive past a Mercedes, I think of Yolanta and her new car, or just, all these. It's been such an awesome journey. I don't think that answered the question, did it?
Sure did.
I think that's the beauty of these groups, right? I think as a group, we are answering that question, and I invite, what if anything else arises, to keep doing. I think I heard it is a practice. The concepts here that we've learned, they're to be practiced. All of them. It is a continuous, and whenever we forget, we are kind to each other. We just talk about it, don't beat ourselves about it, and just go back into the practice. Somewhere along the path, he keeps saying, go back to practice. Like everything else that we do, we made a mistake. Oh man, what did we learn about it? Let's go back and practice again. So it's really, I believe, is down to earth, is that. Now, and it was mentioned again, don't make a big fuss of it, because otherwise you worsen importance and you magnify the fact that you made a mistake, and now it gets rougher to come back to basics, right? We all know accelerated evolution, right? We're all the methods. We all know some of the methods of accelerated evolution. Julia does. Shantae, do you know anything about accelerated evolution? Carrie? Oh, okay. Something that we do in Warrior Stage, another part of Warrior Stage, has to do with accelerated evolution. Okay. And it's just a series of tools, okay, that are quite interested on dealing with challenges. Whenever we have too much energy into something, there's always a method or two that helps to deal with that. And there are many of them. There's many of them. Julia knows some of them with at least 50 to 100 processes, different types of methodologies to do it with them. But it doesn't matter what you do. The whole idea is recognizing that there is polarities. We live in a world of polarities, you know. So whenever we're trapped by something, you know, it's because we're giving it too much importance, and there's something else, you know, to that. And it's always fun to deal with that. So the reason I brought that up is because, and Cindy mentioned it, I think, oh, I will do a solo process, meaning I'll do something. But Carrie mentioned it as well. If I do my meditation, that helps me be centered, right? I found out that when I actually do my morning rituals, Carrie, when I actually slow down for a few minutes and then look at my journal and write, okay, today this is what I'm going to do. It keeps me in perspective. It reminds me what my goal is. So then I don't make the mistake. It is a mistake when I'm not focused. Then everything takes me in the direction. The waves just take me in the direction that the waves want to take me. Okay. So yes, I agree also with that one, Carrie, having some type of routine, some rituals that you find useful in your life, right? Because we always can use those as anchors, right? To stay focused. Importance. What is importance? Let's dive into importance. Importance is such an important topic. Let's dive into importance, because with that, as you rightfully said, Shantae, we can really, really address most of the issues with reality transurfing. What is importance?
I don't know. I think for me, it's not so much everything in my life, but I do share my life with someone that I live with, that it's an everyday thing. And it was something that I know that came up a lot from when I first started reading the book in the group. It has gotten better, but I do realize, like today I was like, what if, like, you know, these little things didn't grab me, you know, what if, because then I think if something ever happened to my wife, I would be very upset that I let those little silly things take away from, like, just enjoying, you know, the relationship. And I know that the things that come up are just around this idea of the importance of needing to be right, or needing to, you know, the ego wanting to have its way, you know. Oh, you want the tea bags over here, but I want the tea bags over there. It's not even big things. It's just this like this little monster inside that just pops up and decides that, you know, there has to be something to you know, some excitement, you know, as opposed to just being okay with, you know, with what is, you know. It's almost even like this, people talk about a glass ceiling, you know, when things are just so amazing and you're like, oh my gosh, and I guess that's another part of importance, right? Just on the positive side, then all of a sudden it's like, I have to create something to disrupt that perfection in the relationship. Like, so it's like, it feels like a seesaw sometimes, that I feel like the importance, I don't really find that seesaw where it's in the middle, you know, it's constantly teetering. So in that, think for me, that's the challenge. I have and always have had really strong rituals, and my wife and I have practices together and solo practices, but this is one area where I just feel like do the balance ever happen, or it's just a matter of playing around with the going up and down?
I think the latter is the case most of the times, because we're in life, because we're in this life that things matter. But any thoughts after what you heard?
You find that the teeter-totter that is not as steep as it was, and that it's like, because that's what I've noticed is
Yeah.
that
Yeah, absolutely.
are less. So instead of kind of going from here to here, I'm sort of more going from here to here. So it's sort of a generally higher, but it still has it, but the lows aren't as low and it's not as extreme, is sort of what I was thinking about the other day on a kind of that similar thought about, you know, the balance and the ups and the downs. It feels like with some of these tools, things are not quite as big.
So I'll share one practice that might help you. We call it end of words, okay? And it's based on a simple principle, a basic polarity, which is what's good and what's bad. Because that's the basic polarity of everything. You were saying, oh, it's too much, little, you know? So whenever you get hit by something, you know, whenever you recognize that something is very important to you, you know, say, okay, I'm going to work on this. And then ask, just focus on that, feeling into that. Just ask, what's good about this? And say, whatever. Let's practice it for the heck of it. Share one thing. Remember one thing that really bothers you, maybe even now when you think about it? Let's play with this for a few minutes, just so you all get to see the power of this. Choose one.
So this is a weird thing. Like last night, I was doing the dishes, and there's a part of me that's like, I'm fine with doing the dishes. I don't have a problem with doing the dishes. And then there's this little person who goes, well, why didn't she help me? I don't really want help, and I don't really need help. So I don't understand, you know, this other part that's like, but she should be here helping me. But
Good.
I'm like, but it's not a big deal. So
What do you
there's
feel
like,
then? What do you feel when you, what is that part that comes up?
Wish I really knew. It really feels like a little teeny monster that is just wants to interject a problem where there is none.
Beautiful. Let's call it the little monster.
Okay, little monster.
You know the little monster, right? How is this
Yes.
monster affecting you?
It makes me feel tense, and it makes me feel like I'm closing off to the love that's available to me.
There you go. Yeah. And you've seen it in other aspects of your life, right? You were sharing that. You see how it comes up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this little monster, how intense is it? How powerful is it when it shows its teeth?
In the moment, it's
0 to
really
10.
small, but it's really intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on the 0 to 10, how intense is it when?
It's a 10. It's a 10. I mean,
Good.
you know, it's like my whole body wants to
Good.
tense up, and it's tense because I'm fighting it.
So
Right?
next time we're gonna do this.
Okay.
So feel into that monster
Mm-hmm.
and tell me what's good about it.
I don't know. The thought that comes up is that it wants things to be fair, but I don't believe it. Don't buy that.
Don't criticize that. Whatever
Okay.
arises, that's good. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Now, feeling to that monster, it's all about the monster. Tell me what's bad about it.
It's restrictive.
Thank you. Now connect with the monster again. Really connect to the monster. And tell me what's good about it.
It wants to protect me.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell me what's bad about it.
It's actually shutting down the love that I am.
Thank you. Feel the monster. What's good about it?
Mm. It makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you. Now feel the monster. And what's bad about it?
It's out of proportion.
Thank you. Feel the monster. What's good about it? Tell me something good about
It has some wisdom.
it. Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell me something bad about it.
Reacts out of fear.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell me something good about it.
It wants the best for me.
Thank you. Now feel the monster. And tell me something bad about it.
It gets out of control.
Thank you. Feel the monster. Feel it fully. Tell us something good about it.
There is some love in there.
Thank you. Now feel the monster. And tell us something bad about it.
Its protection is suffocating.
Thank you. Yes. Feel the monster. And tell us something good about it.
It knows how to be present.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell us something bad about it.
It thinks it knows everything.
Yeah. Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell us something else good about
it. It just wants love.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell us something else bad about it.
It's making me sad.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell us something good about it.
It's feisty and full of life.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell us something bad about it.
It's overwhelming.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And say something good about it.
I don't know what just keeps coming up. It's willing. It's willing. Not much.
That's fine. Thank you. Yeah, I receive it. Feel the monster. And tell us something else bad about it.
It's it's it needs to make others wrong.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell us something good about it.
It just wants to do its best.
Thank you. And feel the monster. And tell us something bad about it.
It's quick to anger.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell us something good about
It just wants to be playful.
it. Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell us something else bad about it.
It sucks the life out of me.
Thank you. Thank you. You're doing great. Feel the monster. Tell us something good about it.
It has a lot of energy.
Thank you. Now feel the monster. And tell us something bad about it.
Mm. Doesn't know how to let go.
Thank you. Feel the monster. And tell us something good about it.
It wants to be a part of my life in an integrated way.
Thank you. Yeah. Now feel the monster. And tell us something else bad about it.
It's like the Tasmanian devil when it's having a tantrum.
Thank you. Receive it. Feel that monster. And tell us something good about it.
It knows how to spot danger.
Thank you. Now feel the monster. And tell us something bad about it.
It blows things out of proportion.
Right. Thank you. Feel the monster. What else is good about it? What else that you haven't told us, you haven't expressed is good about it?
I don't know what the words are, but the feeling is it wants to shine. It wants to be large and uninhibited. It wants expansion. Yeah, it wants expansion.
Thank you. Thank you. Now feel it again. Feel the monster. And tell us something else bad about it. What else is bad that we haven't heard?
It's stuck in this idea of lack. It wants to believe that it can have that expansion, but it doesn't believe that it can have that expansion without being better than someone or something else.
Thank you. Yeah. Feel the monster. What else is good about it?
At the core of it, there's this light, a beaming light.
Thank you. Feel the monster. What's bad about it?
Nothing.
Yeah. Feel the monster. What's good about it?
It just is.
Feel the monster. What's bad about it?
Mm.
Now,
Mm.
dive into this awareness right now of your monster. Feel into it. Connect with it. Breathe into it. There's an awareness in you about this. And as you take a deep breath in, and you let it go, let this awareness expand out of you, in front of you. And allow this awareness to expand behind you, far, far away. And take a deep breath and allow this awareness to expand to your right and to your left. And up and down. And take a deep breath in and allow this awareness to expand out of you in every direction. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So we have a whole bunch of questions for that, but I'll keep it simple. What happened to the importance on this little monster?
It became consumed with compassion.
Yeah. All these incredible energies and thoughts and emotions and beliefs that you had about them kind of vanish, right? That's one way to deal with importance. Simple. What's good about it? What's bad about it? And you process so beautifully that you gave us the opportunity to experience that. Mm-hmm. Have you played with that before, Julia? Yeah? End of words. It's called powerful. You know, it's no good or bad on anything. If you're willing to explore it fully, you end up into this place where it just is. And then now you know, you'll see how this is gonna change. What is an action that you can take from this awareness now? What do you see happening regarding your monster, your relationship?
Yeah, I actually don't, like, I just feel really extremely present right now. Like I just open.
Yeah. That's where importance is completely gone.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was beautiful. So thanks for sharing. Anything else that you would like to share about your experience with the
Oh, okay. Sure. I didn't know the name of this. I've gone to eliminations 4-day thing a long time ago, and I think the good thing about having groups like this is that I often forget about a lot of the tools that are available to me, and so being able to show up and be reminded of everything that I have available. Um, and so I really do appreciate being taken through the process and being reminded um, that it's available to me always.
yeah. Yeah, and I think a simple process like this is very powerful because the reason it's there is because there's usually a lot of charge and a lot of stuff going on there.
Hmm.
So if we're willing to just say, okay, you know, you could start saying, yeah, I'm gonna use affirmations and I'm gonna do this and that, but why? You know,
Yeah.
let's just face it and see what. Well, this is one rod. Whatever other rod you want to use is perfectly all right. But it
Right.
just at this moment arose. This will be simple, to the
Mhm.
point, and to demonstrate how, you know, all that energy, which is very powerful, has started. How does it feel right now? It was 10 over 10. When you feel into it, how does it
Mhm.
feel?
Right now, I just don't really have anything to.
Beautiful.
No,
You'll
not
notice the
this.
change.
Yeah, nothing to bump up against.
Yeah. So that's a beautiful thing. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thanks, Juan.
That's awesome. Any questions on that? Carrie, Julia, Cindy.
Do
Yes,
you do
sir.
it by yourself, Juan, or do you have someone else to help you reflect it back? Because there was the two of you there that felt very important that you were sort of guiding that process. But are you kind of like a master now and you do it to yourself?
You can. Yes. The trick is always to focus on whatever it is, the problem, right? And feel it fully. Usually when we say feel, it just means, which she did beautiful, is, you know, see it. You know, she shares many ways. See it, you know, see what happens with your eyes closed, see what you envision, you know, you know, then be aware of the emotions, be aware of the thoughts that arise, you know, lots of thoughts on things, and then the body sensation, the constriction, the tightness, whatever, you know. So when you can do that, you know, you can just get a book, you know, and start saying, you could just literally write the problem first, right? Then say how intense it is, and then draw a line in the middle of your page, right? And then you just check good and bad, and then so you don't lose track of it, because sometimes when you're working on it, you could lose track of it. But then you just on the good side check good and bad. Even when I was working with her, there's a little technique we do. This is like, you know, what's good, good, thumbs up, and what's bad, bad, pointing at it, even bad. So I was remembering, because you get tracked when you're listening to somebody, you can get distracted. So when you're doing it to yourself or with yourself, you know, you can lose it. But that's where uh, getting the page in half, one is good, one is bad, and you check, helps you stay focused. What's good, what's bad. The content doesn't have any meaning, you know, just to be released. But the idea is just to drop all the importance. And I think what we were able to appreciate is every importance is loaded with a lot of evaluations, powerful evaluations, you know, about X or Y, you know. So this is one of the simplest ways to deal with it. What's good about it? What's bad about it? What's good about it? What's bad? And then we just see it with, you remember how many chapters he says, things are just what they are. We are the ones that add the spice. Well, that's importance. So how do we get rid of importance of things that have been built through all our lives? She probably remember things in the past that she did. That's how powerful this is. So that's where we need some way of tackling. And that's why this came up as an option. Okay, but I hope that was helpful, and then that helps you maneuver with more ease when any other challenge arises, any other challenge. When we think about some person, what's good about this person? It's my evaluation of it. What's good about this one? What's bad about this one? What's good about it? So you can just decrease the charge that anything has. You could call it importance that anybody has. It's the same thing. Charge, importance, it's the same thing. Does that help, Carrie? Anything else? Well, it's a good thing. And that's what we love when we're doing all this, when RT is coupled with all the tools that or any other techniques that to deal with stuff, it's amazing because you need some type of mechanism to deal with it. So that's beautiful. So that's important. Anything else? Any other challenges? Yes, Julie.
Yeah, I guess I can share it. Let me just find my notes. I had like more sort of like takeaways. And so this is more just a challenge as in like I want more practice. I think I would like more practice on like integrating slides and like the magic of outer intention. Like there's a little part of me that I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's more like it feels like it's still like a little bit outside of me as opposed to inhabiting me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Maybe that could be our next practice together. Working on the whole technique of a slide, right? So, what is the first element when we want to create a slide? Let's all work together on this. This is all us together. It's not me here. Let's mute your microphones. What would be the first, if we're gonna work on a slide, what's the first thing that we need to decide?
What we want.
What do we want? What's the goal? Right? So what's the goal? And we need to keep an eye on what's the goal, right? What is the goal? And check for importance, right? Check for importance always. All right, so you think of your goal. So let's play with that. Let's think of a goal. Keep one of your goals right now. Let's start with choosing our goal. You have a goal?
Yeah. Yes.
Got it, Cindy? Got a goal? Beautiful. So once we have a goal, what else do we need to do? What will be your next step in this work?
Be okay with it not happening.
That's an option, yeah. So that's how you check for complete importance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you somehow could perceive the fact that it may not be achieved the way you wanted it. But there's a term in between. Let's use this opportunity to review that. Remember that term called intention?
Mm-hmm.
What is intention? Powerful concept in RT. Let's throw, what is intention? Julia.
Yeah. Well, there's inner intention, which is that sort of like will, the drive, the sort of like, all right, these are the steps to get to the thing, like her. And then the outer intention is the part which is super useful and awesome about like the unity of heart and mind, sort of like that confidence of being able to order it like it's a salad in a restaurant and you're not fussed about how it's going to arrive.
Beautiful. And what is the intention to have? In this world, in this RT world. This is a power to this intention to have. It unites all those things that you just mentioned.
Yeah. Isn't intention to have like a little bit more about outer intention?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty much, I'll tell you what, I love it because you may remember when I read this one before, is that this passionate, unconditional resolve to see what our will is, what we have in our head, okay? Look to reality, see it see it manifest in reality with a calm knowledge that it will. So it's just this knowing, as you were saying, whatever I'm ordering, it's like going to a restaurant. It's like when you go down and check your mail. I know I'm gonna go and check my mail. I'm looking for my mail. Now you're not like wondering, blah, 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 blah. You just know, I'm going for my mail. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not, but there's always your intention to have it. Okay. So with this goal, you must check, how is your intention to have? Is it really clear? It's like, man. Or do you feel that the little ifs and buts important getting on the way? And that is interesting, and to keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on all those restrictions, all those thoughts that arise, all those emotions that arise, all the ifs. Like, how could I make $1 million if I've never made more than 100? Or you know what I'm saying? All those are thoughts, or an emotion, or a tightness, or I don't think I can. Those, we talk about importances, inner importance, outer importance, that limits us. So just check. It's always good. Why checking? Because whatever arises, use the process that we just played with, that we just learned. Ooh, I'm feeling like, ooh, the thought that I can't, the thought that this is impossible, an inner feeling. I actually felt a little tension when I actually thought about it. I felt a little like, ooh, that's where I usually get all my hesitations, here in my chest, So then I should immediately, okay, you write it down, and you play with it. You say, what's good about this? What's bad about this? So you decrease that charge, that importance that is there. There's also another process that you may have heard us do on the previous sessions. It's called 10 fingers. Remember all that process, the 10 fingers? It's really cool, right? Because you start with, ooh, even though this tension is coming up, and you feel this tension, this tension is coming up, I should say. This challenge is whatever towards my goal is coming up. So you feel it fully. Take a deep breath, you let it go. And then on the other hand, you just said, even though this challenge, this tension, this thought arises, I still want to achieve my goal. Remember that way? So you go back and forth. This challenge is arising. So you feel it fully. The contraction, like in my case, will be this contraction of my chest. And it's usually associated with fear and failure. So I feel it all, man. And now, even though this challenge arises, I still want to achieve my goal. So you do that, and you guide it. Use the fingers as a guidance. And usually, once you're done, that challenge gets resolved, minimizes, or so little that you just can do one last round on the 5 fingers. So there you go. There's another tool to work on the challenges towards that goal. It's prudent. We're humans. We have these beliefs. Denying them will be silly. But having said that, let's go back to our goal. What's the next element before we dive into playing with this slide, as Julie asked? What else do we do? There's no right or wrong. Let's bring it on. What else do you do when you're going to practice with yours? When you're practicing with your slides?
Is it envisioning the end result?
That's what we have to focus on the slide. Yes.
Okay.
Right. But before, in preparation for doing your slide, for working on your slide, remember, we want to activate our energy channels.
In our meridians. Yeah.
Remember, activate our energy channels, because if we don't activate our energy channels, it's just a mind work. It's just a mind work, and we need to get this. We need to remind ourselves that we have complete access to the energies that are unlimited, right? So for that, the reminder is get in a comfortable position that's empowering, usually sitting. You don't want to necessarily lie down because you may fall asleep if you're me, So you sit, you get grounded, you get comfortable.
Excuse me.
Then you do your little magical scanning with your, imaginary scanning from head. You relax your forehead. I feel it all tense. Then your yaw, then your neck. Remember, we reviewed that muscle tension contracts the energy channels. So it's important to relax. Feel the relaxation. Then your shoulders, as you go down into your chest and your back. You relax your belly. Your back, your pelvis. Breathe into that if you need to. Your arms, elbows, your hands, your wrists, your thighs, your knees. Feels different, right? Just a little quick scan. Feel good to just let go. So once you let go of all that stress, that's when you start visualizing this first energy channel going from all the way from deep down in the earth all the way up to the sky, usually in front of your spine if you choose to do that. So just imagine it. Just you can feel it, fantastic. If you're not, just imagine a channel of light goes all the way from the center of earth all the way up to whatever you want to call it, the sky, cosmos, planet, whatever, galaxies. But go through the front of your body because it's a reminder that we have access to this. And then, once you can see it there or feel it, then you imagine the other one coming the other direction, kind of behind your spine. You want initially playing like inning, take a deep breath in, you see in one direction, you let out, you see in the other direction. Stay relaxed, don't tense anything. And then you just play, you just see it going back and forth. The best that you can. Don't struggle over this. Otherwise, just importance and challenges, no need for that. This is a reminder, being present, being focused, and that we have access to that energy that we're talking about. Breathe the way you find it best. That helps you stay grounded and connected with this energy. You may choose to turn it into fountains if you remember that game of creating like a fountain, staying on the center of a cocoon of your energies. They keep flowing back and forth. Remember, not for us to keep. We have access to this wealth of unlimited power and wisdom and love. There's no need to try to hold it or to be afraid that we don't have access to it. It's always there if we choose to practice it. So from this place, now we go into what Julia was saying. See, I wouldn't say see, experience your goal as already fully achieved. So what is it for you? What does your body feel as you actually experience your goal fully achieved? What do you see? Turn your head, see what it actually, how it looks like. You see these dogs in this room, all excited, practicing, learning. How does your body feel? What's the energy that you have in your body as you're experiencing and seeing this goal fully achieved already? What's the emotion? If it's something you wanted to get, as you walk through it, as you experience it, as you literally touch it, smell it. If it's a thing, see it, feel it, go through it. If it's something for you, then experience it. What are the thoughts that arise as you really, really are enjoying experiencing, being in the midst of this goal fully achieved, fully realized? You're mindful of importance. You just know that it is. And if something arises that is, quote, negative or challenging or whatever, recognize it. Maybe you want to take note of it. Because, oh, okay, maybe we'll do something for that in a minute. You know, don't neglect it, feel it fully. But then come back to your slide. Slide is a 4D experience of your goal is being fully achieved, done. Get even more alive. Make sure that you're there really. Is it a smell? Is it a color? Is it an emotion that you need to like, something you need to connect us? Just walk through it. Be through it. And be aware how it's, wow, yes, it's done. It is. Be mindful of anything that arises there. How it feels too. Just know that it's a fact, that it's done. It resonates with your deepest essence. At any time, you can just ground yourself again. Remember your energy channels. Whatever you want to use to say, and so it is. I know it. Trust it. The universe takes care of me. Remember that amalgam formula. If it's something that takes lots of different steps to achieve, you may also want to practice playing the chain of transfers, as it's called, the different steps. Like if it was achieving a degree in something, where you first need to achieve this first level and then this second level, third level. So you could play with achieving the different levels. But seeing it all achieved, all done. Because this young lady wanted to be a veterinarian. I think she hadn't even, she hadn't attended yet her interviews and was all afraid and nervous she was going to be chosen. It's so challenging and competitive. And this is the exercise that we play with. See yourself as the veterinarian that you already are. Playing, taking care of the animals. You know how you're caring for them. It's you enjoying that moment. So whatever it is for you, stay with that. This is you. And look at the magic that happens. This is when they talk, going back to the past. When this is already a reality, and this is who you are, when you know that this goal is fully achieved, how are you going to take action moving forward from the place that you are at this moment that we speak? So take a few deep breaths, ground yourself, and open your eyes when you're ready. So now now that you know it's done and achieved, what are the action steps that you need to take? This is your goal. This is the path for you. This is the right door for you. You know, what are the steps that you need to take? Action steps. Try to figure out, okay, where am I? What am I doing? Okay, good. Because there always need to be some action, right? Some type of action. Without importance, Julia. That's where you just know it's so be it. How is it going to happen? Remember all the different alternative flows. Maybe a straightforward line sometimes it may be a little crooked, sometimes it may be a twist and a turn and up and down. But always knowing that it's done, it's achieved. Okay. And the acknowledgement of the fact that we may not achieve it, we may not get it at X or Y moments, is really the way that I want it. It's really releasing the way that I want it. I know I'm going to get it. It's going to be the way in what I wanted and doing this. That's where we have to release. Because that's what it says. It's that awareness, that dispassionate and conditional knowing that whatever it is that you have a will to have, an intention to have, will manifest into reality. Does that help, Julia?
Yeah, thank you so much. It was lovely.
Did that clear up? Did it make it smooth? And you added all these other aspects of the energies and grounded and relaxed.
Yeah, that was such a great point. And that was like on my list of celebrations, things that were like especially profound for me. Like I love the energy meridian stuff. So that was awesome to be like, oh yes, here we go.
So there's this area where that is already real. So if you know it for a fact and you keep your relationship to it always there, present, you work on all the importances. Importances are what keeps the distance from where we are to the manifestation of that reality. So when we can work on those elements, then we start seeing it come manifesting in whatever ways the universe has to manifest it for us. Whatever is the easiest, straightforward, because there's always the least resistance. Unless we put the resistance, we create the resistance. Good. Any other questions, challenges, shares? Whatever there's importance, balancing forces immediately come to head. And then they push us further and further and further away from the realization or obtaining of what we want. So then we go back to practicing. Okay, good. That's fine. Let's drop importance, let's do whatever process and keep going. And be mindful of pendulums that all the time they're doing their best to make sure that we do it the way they want us to do it, to be the way they are. So always keep that in mind. Am I doing it the way I am? Am I really being honest and truthful to myself, or am I just doing it the way my group is doing it, or the people like me does it, or whatever? It's just me. Remember, there's a big chapter on being a genius, being a trendsetter. It's just that person that is themselves. Right? When you're yourself, truly, you don't need approval, you need to explain yourself, you don't need to any of those things. Then you're on track to achieve anything that you want. I think that's it. Always remember that we cannot always change what happens. Terrible things happen all the time. But we always have control of how we relate to them. So the terrible worst thing happens there. Something we call injustice appears, but we cannot control that. But we can always control how we relate to it, our relationship to everything and anything in the world we do have. control through awareness of that. Because, and this was all in the previous chapters on the mirror, when we lose the power that we have to always, remember coordination, always look at the positive on everything that's happening, always manage your relationship to it. Because the moment we lose, the moment we're aggravated by whatever happens, then we start getting more aggravation. Right? Remember that mirror principle. Those chapters on the mirror are so important because they all talk about the outside. What I'm seeing is a reflection of what's going inside of me. So if I'm seeing a lot of drama and destruction and terrible things around, it's because that's what's really deep inside me. So if I do the work on myself, I have to change. I don't have to change. Let me remember. It's not about changing. Remember, remember they talk about, you have to change, you have to be like me. No, it's not about that, right? But it's just a reminder to be aware, on how I interact, how I choose to interact with X or Y that appears in my world, in my reality. So in that way, I can control the further reflections in the mirror. It's not about going and controlling what's happening outside, but what's happening here. If I exude joy, if I feel joyful, then I'm going to start seeing joy outside of myself. I'm going to start healing, resolution, control, And of course, I'm in one level. I'm in one layer, interacting with many others that are in different levels. Correct? We know this, right? Like the 5 of us right now, we're all in our different levels. Maybe it just happens that at this moment we're agreeing in some things, not on all of them. So that's why our paths have crossed. But at the same time, there's all the people that will be, I don't believe in this, this is terrible, this, blah, 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 blah. We have no control over that stuff, except how we feel, how we potentially accept or acknowledge or understand at least what they have and what they feel. Good. Any last few shares on reality transurfing? Yep, go for it, Julie.
Gosh, yeah, I guess some of my I keep coming back to just how valuable the basic concept of the pendulum is for me. And I love the bit about the unity of heart and mind. I think was one of the most impactful ones for me too.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. I know you had something, you wanted to say something, Carrie. You're looking like you were in deep something.
Just drinking water.
Oh, okay. So celebrate. Cheers. Cheers to reality transurfing or whatever we got on it and we got from it.
Here's to fresh water and clean air and fabulous lives.
Oh. Have you read David Data before? Has anybody read anything about David Data? You have, right, Julia and Cindy? Yeah, we have. You're in for a treat. Okay.
I know who he is. I just never read any of his work.
Yeah. So there's many things. This I'm looking out here on my Kindle for Blue Truth. Blue Truth. The title is Blue Truth. Oops, where did it go?
You have the hardcover. You have the paperback too.
I do?
Yes, I've seen it.
I haven't seen it. I think you are the one that get the books. You get the hard copies. Anyway, Blue Truth, a spiritual guide to life and death and love and sex. So we're actually going to go through all those different elements in this book. Okay? And there's a beautiful foreword by Lama Surya, whatever. I'm not good at this stuff. So this is a book that has 38 chapters. And boy, if it is quite interesting. And it's, again, things to learn, things to experience, take whatever resonates with you. I don't think this is a book that you could just, like RT, there are concepts that we can talk about it, you know. This one is a little trickier. There are concepts, but I think it's more experiences. And this chapter one is very short. I'm going to read it just because I think that's what should happen. We should read it now and then practice whatever resonates with us. And then when we get together in 2 weeks, see what came up of it, what we learned, what we could implement, what we implemented in our life, what makes sense, what didn't make sense, the challenges we found. So this is beautiful. It says the first section is life and death. 1, love fully and die. Sooner or later, this present moment is going to be your last. You are alive for now. Feel your heart beating in your chest. Soften your belly and relax your jaw. We just did that. Feel your heart beating deep in your body and feel your heart's rhythm radiating outward, pulsing in your hands and feet and neck. Can you feel that as we read it? Feeling your heartbeat, relax open as if offering your heartbeat to the world. While feeling your heartbeat as an offering to all, feel how you live your moments. What did you do today? What are your plans for tomorrow? Who do you love and how deeply? No matter how much money or love you have made, one day your legs will become cold and numb. Your heart will stop. Your breath will cease, and all will disappear. In some now moment, as real as this present one, your life will end. Are you ready for your death? Are you ready for the death of your children, your parents, and your friends? A picnic with your loved ones, fried chicken and cold beer, a gentle breeze, laughter. Suddenly your heart stops, a final glimpse, fade to death. Are you ready? Have you loved fully and given your deepest gift? A life lived well embraces death by feeling open from heart to all in every moment. Wide open, you can offer without holding back. You can receive without pushing away. Wide open, heart to all, you are openness and separate from this entire open moment. Every part of the moment comes and goes as openness. Your daughter's smile, temporary, precious, already dissolving. Your lover's embrace, sweet, full, already loosening. Every moment is miraculous and disappearing. Every experience, profound and empty, both. Life lived for the sake of experience is a half-life, tense, insecure, lonely, and unfulfilled. Your experience cannot fulfill you because as soon as it comes, it is already gone. A thin wisp, the tail end of hope, receding out of reach. Ungrasp, this moment of life burgeons free and bright. Surrendering wide, breathing deeply, offering your heart, You are birth open as this moment. Death is permission to open freely as love. That's chapter 1. What does it inspire in you? What's your initial reaction to it?
I want to make sure I live fully now while I'm alive and be ready to go at any moment.
Thank you. Any shares? Any other shares? Julia, yes.
Oh, gee, yeah. I love it just touches on some stuff that feels pretty profound that, I think it's probably important for me to be thinking about or feeling like the fullness and the emptiness all at once. It also brought up like a little bit of fear for me of just because like I have been very, very, very open, and that hasn't always like worked out in a useful way. So a little bit of like, how can I take that in without, launching into openness in a way that doesn't respect, I guess, the wholeness of my individuality within the oneness of it all.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, food for thought. Shantae, what do you think? What do you feel?
I spent most of my life being suicidal from a child. And so there was this period where I just always wanted to leave. And then was able to turn that around to choosing to be in my body, really be in my body, kind of like an ultimatum where my soul was literally pulling out of my body. And I said, wait a minute, I actually choose to be here. And it was like my soul was very clear. Look, you either go for your happiness or I'm out of here. But I feel like in the last maybe in the last 5 years, I have become very protective for some reason. And that is a very closed off feeling. Kind of, I guess, similar to what Julia is saying, that I feel like I opened up to some people or things have happened with people that I loved that kind of like impacted me. And there's a big part of me that kind of is in this little teeny tiny world of not very many people because it feels safer. And it's kind of very like the flip side of what I was feeling before when I didn't want to be in my body, where it's like, I want to be in my body, but yet I want it to be so small and safe. And I know that that's not what I choose. I kind of feel like it ties into what I was saying earlier about needing to find a reason to push my wife away, right? A reason that doesn't even really make sense. It's so, just any small thing. And I think that's all of that kind of protection from love. And it kind of doesn't let the love in, and it doesn't fully let the love out. And so that's some of the things that came up listening to you.
Thank you. Very powerful. Thank you. Carrie.
What was coming up for me was the relationship side of it, the friends with the beer, the daughter's dead. This last year and a bit has been really challenging with just how extremely isolated I've been. And now that we're starting to get our restrictions back, I'm finding wells of emotion just rushing out. And I think because I've just had to hold it together for so long, only being allowed to see 2 people a week for someone like me is just so challenging, or 2 people at all, rather, not just a week. So and all of my interactions are like this, unless I go to the grocery store. And sometimes I have lovely interactions there, but it's just been this holding pattern of isolation for such a long time that it's just that idea of living fully and loving and being around people again is just, oh yeah. I had a healing session yesterday that was just so hugely emotional with all of this stuff coming out. Unfortunately, right after it, I had to come and go right back onto Zoom again because there was nobody I could go and talk to or touch or hold or any of those things. It's just been, yeah, such a challenge. And that's a lot of, because I'm not living fully right now because I'm living in a computer. And that's not a healthy way to be. So that's a lot of what was coming up for me.
Thank you. So you see the power of all this, of all these thoughts and expressions. Yeah, for me, it's always the same as they call, am I living fully? Am I living fully? That for me, that's one of the many calls. If everything is fading eventually, am I living fully at this moment? That's that call for love. I have to express love. How do I open up fully? And I think that's the challenge, right? How do we open full-heartedly, despite what appears to be, our stories, that we're isolated, we're quarantined, we supposedly are not in contact with people, How do we live fully in that setting? Anyway, that's just one chapter. And they all bring different thoughts and interesting concepts to dive into. So again, I believe that this is something to read and feel into it and read it again. And how could I practice? How could I live fully open? What does it mean for each of us to live fully open? Does it really make us vulnerable and expose us to getting hurt? Or maybe there's a way to do that without now. Is there a way to be, strong? I don't know. So yes, go for it.
Or maybe using our other tools to not let getting hurt be so important.
Not letting understanding the monster, processing the monster, the little monster that's there with so the good and the bad of everything. Everything has the goods and the bads. Beautiful. Anyway, that's the adventure. That's the adventure we're diving into. And again, it's all a shared adventure and a wholehearted adventure. So there's no right or wrong. It's just what it is. So I'm looking forward to share that with you. 3 chapters. We're going to only do 3 chapters for now. We'll see how that works, how we express it, how we can dive into it. And any questions, any thoughts, any ideas? If you can think of any ways to make this even more fun, it's all game. Remember, we're all here together, learning, growing. It's all about arising together, right? Yes, Julia.
Yeah, one question I have. I think the one that I previously read was The Way of the Superior Man. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think that he had a little bit where he was talking about how what he's saying is applicable to all orientations and relationship types and genders, because it's talking about like inner, like masculine and feminine and all that
Yep.
jazz. Is that the case for this book too?
Yep. But this is a little higher than just that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
But it's powerful. He's going to go through. You're going to have a driver through all aspects of life. So it's going to be quite an interesting ride. Let's give it a try. See how it goes. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Beautiful. Looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks again. The 14th, you said. 24th, you said, Cindy, right? Beautiful.
24th.
Live fully heart open every second. Love you.
Love you.
And we're not separate. We're not apart. Don't buy into that. We're very close. Okay? Beautiful.
Come and touch me, Juan.
But you are. You bet we are. We are. Beautiful.
You know how much used to be over there? None of you.
What part of Jersey are you in?
Very close to Newark and in Rahway. I don't know if you know anything about Rahway.
What? My mom's on Staten Island. She's close to the Gothels.
15 minutes, yeah. From
Yeah.
Staten Island, my uncle lives in Staten Island. It's 15 minutes together. Yeah,
All right. So next time I come for a long visit, I'll look you up.
you bet. You bet. You just contacted me the other day. So yeah, we'll do.
Okay.
Beautiful. Take care. Bye.
Have a great 2 weeks, everyone. Love you.
Thank you. Love you
Cool.
too.
Thanks so much,
Cindy.
guys.
Thanks, Juan.
Thank you
Thanks,
all.
Julia. Thanks,
Thank you all.
Terry.
Thank you for being here.
Good night.
Mwah. Good night.